Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. World leaders condole the death of Pope Francis. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says deeply pained, recalls his Vatican visit. US Vice President J.D. Vance begins his 4-day India trip, visits Swaminarayan Akshardham Temple with family to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the evening. Ukraine reports multiple drone attacks by Russia after ceasefire deal ends. Kremlin expresses satisfaction over US position ruling out NATO membership for Ukraine. Pope Francis has died at the age of 88, the Vatican said on Monday. Pope Francis was elected Pope in 2013 and became the first pontiff from the Americas and the first Jesuit to lead the Roman Catholic Church. He succeeded Pope Benedict XVI, who made the rare decision to step down from the papacy, the first to do so in nearly 600 years. Francis was admitted to the hospital on February 14 with a severe respiratory infection. The 88-year-old Pope was hospitalized for 5 weeks, suffering from double pneumonia. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has condoled the passing of Pope Francis. In a social media post, the Prime Minister said he was deeply pained by the passing of His Holiness Pope Francis. He hailed him as a beacon of compassion, humility and spiritual courage. Further, PM Modi said that Pope Francis diligently served the poor and downtrodden and was a spirit of hope to those who were suffering. PM also recalled his meetings with the Pope and said was greatly inspired by his commitment to inclusive and all-round development. His affection for the people of India will always be cherished. As the leader of the largest sect of Christianity, Pope Francis has departed for his heavenly abode. The world is reacting profoundly to his passing. On social media platform X, EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen remarked that the Pope inspired millions. Russian President Vladimir Putin hailed Pope Francis as a defender of humanism and justice, while Irish Prime Minister Michael Martin said that he spoke out for the poor, the marginalized and the oppressed. Other leaders who expressed their condolences include French President Macron, Israeli President Herzog and many more. Pope Francis passed away at the age of 88. He made his final appearance on Easter Sunday before his death. Francis led the Catholic Church for over a decade, becoming the first Jesuit and Latin American to hold the papacy.
Pope Francis was born Jorge Mario Bergoglio on the 17th of December 1936 in Buenos Aires. He became the 266th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church. He was the first Pope from Latin America and the first Jesuit Pope, a Society of Jesus, a Roman Catholic religious order of men. He was known for his humility, dedication to social justice, and efforts to reform the Church. Pope Francis made a significant impact on the global stage. Jorge Mario Bergoglio was born into a middle-class family of Italian immigrants. He initially pursued a career as a chemical technician before feeling a strong calling to priesthood. In 1958, he entered the Jesuit order and began his formal religious education. He studied humanity and obtained a licentiate in philosophy in Buenos Aires. He taught literature and psychology at the high school level. Bergoglio was ordained a priest on the 13th of December 1969. He made his final vows as a Jesuit in 1973 and served as the superior of the Argentine Jesuit province. During this period, he was deeply involved in education and spiritual leadership, promoting Christian values and social justice. Later, Bergoglio was appointed Auxiliary Bishop of Buenos Aires and became the Archbishop of Buenos Aires in 1998 and was consecrated as a Cardinal in 2001. As Archbishop, he focused on uplifting the community, social outreach, and advocating for poor and marginalized. On the 13th of March 2013, Bergoglio was elected Pope, taking the name Francis in honor of Saint Francis of Assisi, who is known for his service to the poor. His papacy has been marked by a commitment to humility, social justice, and environmental stewardship. Pope Francis consistently advocated for the rights of the poor and migrants, emphasizing the Church's duty to stand by them. He implemented significant internal reforms within the Vatican and addressed various global issues, including climate change and interfaith dialogue. As Archbishop of Buenos Aires, a diocese with more than 3 million inhabitants, he conceived of a missionary project based on communion and spreading the Catholic faith. He had four main goals: open and brotherly communities, an informed lay community playing a lead role, taking the message of Jesus to every inhabitant of the city, and assistance to the poor and the sick. Bureau Report, DD India.
And with the death of Pope Francis announced by the Vatican on Monday, the Roman Catholic Church will begin elaborate rituals steeped in tradition that mark the end of one papacy and lead to the start of the next. So let's understand how a new Pope is elected.
The process of electing a Pope is a centuries-old tradition in the Roman Catholic Church. The next Pope will be the 267th leader of the 2,000-year-old Catholic Church and become sovereign of the Vatican city-state. When a Pope dies or resigns, the College of Cardinals, comprising bishops and Vatican officials from around the world, takes over the governance of the Catholic Church. The bishops and cardinals hold a series of meetings called General Congregations to discuss the state of the Church and prepare for the upcoming election. They also make arrangements for the funeral and burial of the deceased Pope. The cardinal electors, 120 in number, limited to cardinals below the age of 80, pray and meditate in the magnificent Sistine Chapel, the walls and ceilings of which have been painted by Michelangelo and is regarded as one of the most priceless artworks in existence. There, they take an oath of secrecy and lock themselves in for the duration of the conclave. There are 4 Indian cardinals eligible to participate in the conclave. They are Cardinal Basilios Clemus Isaac Totunkal, Major Archbishop of Thiruvananthapuram, of the Syro-Malankara Rite, which is in communion with the Catholic Church. Cardinal Anthony Pula, Archbishop of Hyderabad. Cardinal Felipe Neri Antonio Sebastio de Rosario Farao, Archbishop of Goa. Cardinal George Jacob Kuvakard, who is in charge of inter-religious dialogue in the Vatican. Of the 120 cardinals, over 63% have been appointed by Pope Francis and are likely to continue with his reformist agenda in the Church. The others form part of a conservative movement that is protecting the centuries-old deposit of the Catholic faith. The cardinals vote by secret ballot. Eligo un summum pontificem. I elect the Most High Pontiff. They fold their ballots twice and drop them into a chalice. 4 rounds of balloting are held each day until a candidate receives a 2/3 majority. Once a candidate is elected, the ballots are burnt with chemicals that produce white smoke, signaling to the world that a new pope has been chosen. If no candidate is elected, the ballots are burned with chemicals that produce black smoke. Once a candidate is elected, he chooses a papal name and emerges onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica to bless the 1.5 billion Catholics. This ancient process is part of the enduring traditions of the Catholic Church. Bureau Report, DD India.
Shifting focus now. On the occasion of 17th Civil Services Day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed civil servants in New Delhi. Prime Minister Modi also conferred the Prime Minister's Awards for Excellence in Public Administration. 16 awards were given by the Prime Minister in the categories of Holistic Development of Districts, Aspirational Blocks Programme and Innovation to Civil Servants. They were recognized for work done for the welfare of common citizens through this. In his address, PM Modi stressed that in the past 10 years, India has moved beyond incremental change to witness impactful transformation.
संवेदनशील रहिए, गरीब की आवाज सुनिए, गरीब की तकलीफ समझिए, उनका समाधान करना अपनी प्राथमिकता बनाइए। जैसे अतिथि देवो भव होता है, वैसे ही नागरिक देवो भव इस मंत्र को लेकर के हमें चलना है। आपको सिर्फ भारत के सिविल सर्वेंट्स के रूप में ही नहीं, विकसित भारत के शिल्पकार के रूप में अपने दायित्व के लिए तैयार करना है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will embark on a two-day visit to Saudi Arabia on Tuesday at the invitation of the Crown Prince and Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Prince Mohammed bin Salman. During his two-day visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also visit a dates factory employing Indian workers there. The country is home to roughly 2.7 million Indians. DD India's Amritpal Singh visited the factory in Jeddah and spoke to the workers.
With a 2.7 million strong Indian diaspora living and working here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has the second highest diaspora anywhere in the world. I'm here right now in Jeddah and outside a factory which Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be visiting on Wednesday when he comes calling on Saudi Arabia on Tuesday and Wednesday for a two-day visit. The Prime Minister shall be coming here and interacting with the workers in this factory. This is the floor of the processing plant or the factory of dates, which this third generation of Indians whose grandfather migrated here started with trading but later went into farming and production and now employs thousands of workers, not just from India but also from the subcontinent and also from Saudi Arabia, working in various capacities. A general perception is that Saudi society is very restrictive. Women do not have the kind of liberties that are seen in other parts of the world. But what we see here belies that. You see these young girls who are Saudi nationals working in this plant owned by Indian entrepreneurs. In fact, I have with me Lama Hafza, who's herself a Saudi national. She's the marketing manager here. Are the gender roles changing in Saudi Arabia when you started or when you were growing up?
Actually, by government, I'm just going to explain it in a nutshell. Working as a female gives you more points and the government itself. So all the companies are now directing towards like having more females.
I have with me Salman Vasaiwala. He is an entrepreneur here. You or your family generate employment and actually contribute to the economy of Saudi Arabia, don't you?
Correct, definitely. Yeah. Now, a lot has changed in the past 50 years. We've gone from trading into manufacturing, farming, distribution, and also with the new Vision 2030 coming up, Saudi Arabia has improved and is supporting us a lot.
The Prime Minister is coming here, visiting your factory, interacting with the workers. What sort of confidence does it inspire in the Indian diaspora working here?
No, actually, they're very excited. All the workers, they're honored. You know, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
हमारा देश का पीएम आएगा सर, बहुत खुशी की बात है सर. हमारा कंपनी में देख के जानकारी लेंगे सर, अच्छा लगेगा, बहुत खुशी की बात है सर. हमारा देश का पीएम है, गौरव है सर.
This sentiment that when the Prime Minister of the country comes and interacts with general factory workers, farm workers, ordinary people living outside their country, it inspires. With cameraman Saurabh Bakshi, this is Amritpal Singh for DD India in Jeddah.
US Vice President J.D. Vance is in India on a 4-day official visit. He is accompanied by his wife Usha Vance, their children and a delegation of senior US government officials. This is Vice President Vance's first visit to India. The US Vice President and the Second Lady were received at the Palam Air Base by Railways and INB Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw. The American leader was also accorded a ceremonial welcome on his arrival. J.D. Vance's children were dressed in traditional Indian attire. During the visit, he will be meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. J.D. Vance's visit from 21st to 24th April, spanning Delhi, Jaipur and Agra, is expected to further deepen India-US comprehensive global strategic partnership. Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting Dr. L. Murugan, in a conversation with Doordarshan on Monday, emphasized the significance of the upcoming Wave Summit 2025, scheduled to be held from May 1st to 4th. Speaking from Bhopal, Dr. Murugan explained that the Wave Summit aims to position India as a global hub for content creation. The event, he noted, is structured to foster collaboration between content creators, investors and innovators, building strategic partnerships that will boost India's media and entertainment sector.
All the sector, the entertainment, media and entertainment sector, they come together and they celebrate. 4 days, a Wave Summit is going to happen. This Indian technology with content creation is together taking place. The opportunities are very, very huge opportunities for that. That's why our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji's vision that one such big this type of summit has to be happened in India. So all they are coming together and they are celebrating these waves.
Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Signal chat leak in US again. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth allegedly shared military operation plans with wife brother in a messaging group. And the world unites to celebrate World Creativity and Innovation Day.
Bharat welcomes the world to a new era of creativity. Waves World Audiovisual and Entertainment Summit, as Mumbai hosts the global stage for creativity and innovation. Connecting creators through Creatosphere, where emerging voices rise. Wave Accelerator, where ideas meet global investors. Waves Bazaar, a global marketplace for content. Connecting countries through global media dialogue and industry roundtable. Bharat Pavilion, capturing India's rich history of storytelling.
वेव्स के रूप में भारत एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म बनाने जा रहा है जिसमें दुनिया के एंटरटेनमेंट लैंडस्केप पर उसको बदलने की क्षमता होगी.
From culturals to cinema, gaming to animation, fueling the next wave of entertainment. Connecting creators, connecting countries. Waves 2025.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Kremlin said on Monday that the position of US President Donald Trump's administration on ruling out NATO membership for Ukraine gave Moscow satisfaction. US Envoy General Keith Locke said on Sunday that NATO membership was off the table for Ukraine. Speaking on peace deal, Kellogg said that a minerals deal was part of the solution for a comprehensive ceasefire and permanent peace deal. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump has repeatedly said that previous US support for Ukraine's bid to join NATO was a cause of the conflict.
We've got too many other issues in the world that the United States must be involved in, and this war has gone on way too long. But I think there's an opportunity. We presented what I would call a term sheet. This is what it looks like going forward to the Ukrainians. They went back to Kyiv. They're going to come back next week in London. We're going to sit down and say, what does this look like? Then we turned to the Russians and said, okay, what does your term sheet look like? Then you put it together. Let me give you one example. The example is we've been very clear. NATO's off the table. You're not going to be part of NATO. That's something that's not new. We've been talking about that since 2008 when Ambassador Burns told Condoleezza Rice this was a bridge too far.
On ground, Ukraine's military has reported a wave of Russian drone attacks across several regions overnight. These strikes came just hours after the end of a 30-hour Easter truce declared unilaterally by Moscow. Russia's defense ministry has confirmed the resumption of combat operations, insisting that its forces had strictly observed the ceasefire and remained at previously held positions. Air raid alerts have been issued across several regions, including the capital Kyiv as well as Kherson and Zaporizhia. Ukraine's Air Force sounded alarms amid reports of renewed military activity. In the southern city of Mykolaiv, explosions were reported. And the U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth shared details of a March attack on Yemen's Iran-aligned Houthis in a message group on the social media platform Signal. Reported by the New York Times on Sunday, the group included his wife, brother and personal lawyer, which has raised questions about Hegseth's use of an unclassified messaging system to share highly sensitive security details. The report said that Hegseth shared flight schedules for the March 15 strikes in a Signal chat that included close personal contacts. The information mirrors details previously leaked in a separate chat that mistakenly included the Atlantic's editor-in-chief. Hegseth's wife has also reportedly attended meetings with foreign military officials. The leak investigation has led to the removal of advisor Dan Caldwell from the Pentagon and placed 2 other officials on administrative leave. And more than 14,000 Filipino and American soldiers commence annual military exercises on Monday with an opening ceremony. These exercises take place amid security concerns in the region, including rising tensions in the South China Sea. The annual Balikatan drills, meaning shoulder to shoulder in Tagalog, will run for 3 weeks until May 9, showcasing an array of U.S. weaponry. The drills include defending against missile threats, preventing sea invasions, and conducting a maritime strike test by sinking a decommissioned Philippine Navy vessel. Now, Sri Lanka marked the 6th anniversary of the deadly Easter Sunday terror attacks with solemn memorial services calling for justice. The coordinated bombings on April 21, 2019 killed over 260 people and injured more than 500 in one of Sri Lanka's worst terrorist attacks. Special services were held at shrines and cathedral along with a procession. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka President Anura Kumara Dissanayake, speaking at a rally in Polonnaruwa, called the attacks the greatest tragedy. Muslim organization issued joint statement condemning the attacks, rejecting extremist violence and urging accountability while decrying unjust detentions under anti-terror laws. Let's now take a look at other stories making news around the world. Egyptians celebrated Sham NSM, a traditional festival that heralds the start of spring. A special meal marks the celebration. Herrings, smoked and salted fish. Herrings is considered a traditional meal on some religious and national holidays in Egypt. Turkmenistan is celebrating the National Day of the Turkmen horse, where people gather to preserve the gene pool of purebred Ahaltek horses and increase their population. The complex has become a benchmark in the field of horse breeding. This is the result of a consistent state policy implemented on the initiative. And it's an Easter for animals too. At Buin Zoo in Chile, an Easter event is held where animals search for eggs filled with species-appropriate food. The eggs are made from emptied ostrich shells and painted with non-toxic colors. The animals were spotted looking around the egg baskets, enjoying meals on Happy Easter Sunday. Every year on April 21st, the world unites to celebrate World Creativity and Innovation Day, a global initiative recognized by the United Nations to highlight the power of human imagination in solving challenges and shaping a sustainable future. DD India's Princey Yadav has more on this.
From the first flame that lit up the dark to the algorithms powering our digital lives, every era of progress began with a spark, an idea that challenged the present. And today, on the World Creativity and Innovation Day, we celebrate those sparks, the dreamers, the doers, and the what-if thinkers. Creativity shapes identity, strengthens communities, and drives connection, culture, and opportunity. Its impact is tangible and measurable. Creativity and culture account for 3.1% of global GDP. They contribute to 6.2% of global employment. They fuel job creation and economic growth worldwide. The impact goes further. Creativity drives green innovation and solutions to tackle climate change, poverty, and hunger, thereby paving the way for achieving sustainable development goals. When it comes to innovation, India is making a significant global impact. In just a decade, it has climbed from 81st to 39th place in the Global Innovation Index. India has just emerged as the world's third largest startup ecosystem. In space frontier, from Mangalyaan and Chandrayaan to the recent space docking breakthrough, further highlight India's innovation journey. With its growing creative industry, India is leading the way, promoting creative soft power and uniting the world through innovation and cultural exchange. World Creativity and Innovation Day reminds us that being human means imagining, experimenting, and thinking differently. So pause the scroll, step away from usual, and create something new today. Who knows, your next idea could spark a revolution. With camera person Raj, Princey Yadav for DD India.
Well, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.